that I have and that the one that you're holding, if these two are on the same page, it doesn't matter. So what we do is that this is also a new version. Okay, tell me, which is it? The page 3?
Page 3.
Preliminary prayers.
Preliminary prayers are on
Page 3.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody should. Okay, you can say when I say page number, just try to flip through 1 or 2 pages before or after and see if it is we are the same. Whatever page number so all should follow that. Okay, page number 3. What we said yesterday, setting a proper motivation. Okay, just for information, because it's just 6 days for the Bodhicitta retreat. 6 days is pretty short, so therefore the things may slip from our mind here and there. Those who have health issues, where you need more rest, make sure that you don't negotiate your sleep, you don't negotiate with your rest. It's very important to take appropriate amount of rest. This is very important, particularly those people who have health issues. Don't try to be overly zealous and attend everything and then finally you break down. Okay, this is the purpose will be defeated. So therefore I share with you very strongly that if you have health issues, take the liberty to take rest, more rest. This is very important. Okay, so for example, I would say the most important thing would be the classes, and particularly that meeting here, and of course just coming here for the signing of the programs for the classes. Number 1, and then the number 2 would be the morning prayers. Morning prayers, this is what we're doing now, is very important. And then why important this morning prayers is not for the sake of the prayers, because many people, after attending the teachings, many teachings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and teaching of this teacher, that teacher, and so forth, finally they're a little lost. So okay, after learning all these things, finally, how should I practice it? How can I put it in a daily life? So the morning practice is designed primarily for the sake of the people to learn how to design your the daily practice, lifelong daily practice, for that purpose. Okay, and then the group discussions is also very important. Very important group discussions. We have like 2 of the group discussions plus 1 optional, 3. And group discussions, I may reiterate later on, is that the particular people, those who are a little already exposed to the Buddhist philosophy, I would request you to be very kind, not to dominate too much, not to overtake everything. Just let others also speak, knowing that, okay, so I'm there to help others, and others also there to help me with this thought. And then meanwhile, you will learn how to listen. You will learn how to appreciate the nuances which otherwise it may slip from your mind. You may not have obtained that. And in fact, I go to all different places. From there, when the people ask questions from there, I learn many things. From the people, particularly people who already learn philosophy. From them, I don't learn much, because what they're thinking and my thinking is much more the same. Those people who are coming for the first time with the Buddhist philosophy, they ask some unexpected questions. And then suddenly I have to think. It's really very helpful, right? Whereas those people who already learned the philosophy, their thinking is more like, I went through this thinking, so therefore it's fine. Particularly newcomers, from them you can learn a lot. And whereas you try to explain something, if the person shows a blank face, which means that you could not articulate it. So it is a great opportunity for you to learn how to articulate. Even that is very important. Articulating means it's not just, we think that we know something, but if you don't articulate it, you cannot articulate, you don't know that. So the other person is given the opportunity for you to learn more, to refine your knowledge. So there's a mutual benefit. Okay, so the point is, be kind to the newcomers, particularly to newcomers. Don't let them feel demoralized. Okay, I don't know anything. Look, this person knows so much, she knows so much, he knows so much. I don't know anything. And then in a way we are harming others. Everybody has the capacity to shine. Everybody has the capacity to become a Buddha, and you are hampering that potential. If that person doesn't learn, feel demoralized, finish. You are hampering, severing the opportunity for the person to grow. So why not we help each other? In the process of helping others, your compassion grows. Finally, even for us to grow in philosophy, is to grow compassion so that we become a happier person. And if your compassion doesn't grow, then you will literally remain unhappy, and then the whole purpose is defeated. So for that matter, compassion can profoundly grow by giving opportunity to the newcomers to speak. And then if they say something wrong, if you have authentic information, then you can say very gently, you can say, don't just dismiss what other person is saying. What do you make sense? What you said doesn't make any sense. Instead of saying this, just okay, this is what is said, but according to what I've learned, if I'm not wrong, admit that. If I'm not wrong, what I've learned, this is the information, and the rationality is this. This is the reason. Okay, so this is what I would suggest you to do. Once in a while, then I may also come for the group discussions. I'll be very happy to listen to your. Oftentimes, listen to the group discussions. From there, I can see your thinking, and on this basis, we can see how to conduct the class according to the needs of the audience. Okay, so for the morning practice, instead of prayer, I would say practice. Morning practice. Three things to keep in mind: refuge field, Bodhicitta field, and the purpose of this practice. Refuge field, meaning that we seek inspiration from all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas pertaining to enriching your compassion and the wisdom of emptiness. For that matter, okay, let us visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Arya Maitreya, Arya Manjushri, Arya Lokiteshvara, Arya Tara, Arya Vajrapani, Arya Geshe Garbha, Arya Akasha Garbha, Arya Nagarjuna, Arya Deva, Acharya Buddha Palita, Acharya Nagabodhi, Acharya Chandrakirti, Bodhisattva Shantideva, then Arya Sangha, Arya Acharya Vajrabandhu, Acharya Dignaga, the father of the Buddhist logic, Acharya Dharmakirti, one of the greatest proponents and one of the greatest Buddhist logicians in the history of Buddhism. Then Acharya, the Bodhisattva Shantarakshita, Acharya Kamalshil, then Lama Silingpa from Indonesia, then Lama Atisha, and all the sorts of inspirations of compassion, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. And the way you visualize them, that makes the whole difference. Visualize them to be your parents, extremely affectionate parents, so loving, so caring. And imagine that you come home demoralized from the school, bullied by elder children, and your parents are waiting there to give full love, affection, attention, and embrace. Bodhicitta field. Visualize your two parents on the two sides. Even though you may have some complication with the parents, it doesn't matter. The complications is just the indication of our being very ordinary person. And this 6-day program here is to learn how to transcend being an ordinary person, how to love, how to see your parents in the light of great affection. And ordinary people, for small differences, they may start fighting, quarreling, then shouting at the parents and so forth, seeing the parents as the needless and the pointless. But then what we are doing here is to transcend, and even that is not for your parents, it's for your own happiness. Okay, visualize your two parents on the two sides. Then your children, all the family members around you, everyone here in this locality, the insects, the animals, the spirits, Holy Ghost, the hell beings, God and goddesses, the human beings, everyone in this locality, in Finland, in your own country, in the entire world, in the entire Milky Way galaxy, and the entire universe. And again, how you visualize them, that makes all difference. Visualize them, visualize here you are the mother, and all others are like children. Imagine that they come home demoralized, being bullied by elder children at the school, and you are there to give full love, affection, attention, and embrace, to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. And the purpose of this practice is to awaken this incredibly beautiful potential that exists within each one of us, referred to as the seed of perfection, the treasure of perfection, the treasure of happiness, the Buddha nature, which exists within every sentient being, irrespective of what religion the other person is following, what belief system other person has, what ethnicity, what gender, no discrimination. Everyone has this seed of perfection, referred to as the Buddha nature. It is our job to awaken that, like the gold when mixed with the soil. While the nature of the gold is to glow, why it is not glowing is because of the presence of the dirt. It's not that there is no gold there. Likewise, each one of us, we have the gold-like Buddha nature there. But why it is not glowing is because of the mixture, mental defilements, which are of two kinds. A very gross one and a subtle one. Gross one referred to as the afflictive obscurations, and the subtle one referred to as the cognitive obscurations. The presence of these two block us from manifesting from this Buddha nature, becoming manifest, the gold to manifest to glow. So how to get rid of these defilements, knowing that these defilements are rooted to this self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. And the remedy lies in the wisdom of emptiness. And the wisdom of emptiness, to what extent this wisdom of emptiness can achieve the state of the fearlessness, which is technically referred to as nirvana, and achieve the state of infinite happiness, technically referred to as the Buddhahood. So to what extent this wisdom of emptiness will take you there is determined by the motivation. If the motivation is just the renunciation, at the most it will take you to the state of fearlessness and not to the infinite happiness. Whereas if the motivation is bodhicitta, grounded in great compassion, supported by the renunciation, then not only that you are able to achieve the fearlessness, but also achieve the full awakening. So this whole purpose is to activate the wisdom of emptiness, driven by the force of compassion or the bodhicitta, supported by the renunciation, that finally we are to eradicate all the mental defilements and to meet with your own true nature. Let manifest your true nature, which is the purity, luminosity of the non-dual wisdom in the radiance of great compassion of Bodhicitta. Okay, with that in mind, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are watching us, and you are leading this, and all sentient beings, including two parents and children, imagine that they accompany you and they're so happy to join you in this journey of cleansing the mental defilements to awaken one's own Buddha nature. Okay, with that in mind, let's turn to page 3. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Okay, one thing, again a reminder, which very important reminder, is that as we recite these verses, they are not for the sake of completing the recitation. This is so important. There are 3 ways of reciting any spiritual text. There are 3 ways of reciting. One is where the words flow and the meanings do not flow. Number 2 is words flow and the meanings flow. Finally, it's not for the sake of, okay, I've done the daily practice. It's not for that sake, for the sake of the transformation, for the sake of transformation. And just as to overcome a chronic illness, we're required to take the medicines over and over again, likewise, to overcome the chronic disease of the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude, we also need to take the medicine of the wisdom over and over again. So these recitations, they have to invoke the wisdom over and over again. And so if that is the purpose, to invoke the wisdom, just the words flow, but your mind is not really there. You are doing it all absent-mindedly, then the thought process is not at all activated. If that is not activated, then the whole purpose is defeated. Then to recite it, of course, just by the recitation, the benefit is there, but benefit is so minuscule. It's not really to the extent that you expect. So, words flow without the meanings flowing. This is not to be encouraged. That is number 1. Number 2, words flow and the meanings flow. This is number 2. Number 3, words flow, meanings flow, and the experience flows. This is the best way by which to do any kind of recitation. Okay, but we can't really expect the 3rd version right away. At least the 1st and 2nd we can expect. Where you know the meanings, you must make it a point that you don't waste your time by just making the words flow without the meanings flowing. Now for that matter, what is important is try best to let the meanings flow. As the meanings flow, you will feel very tired in the end of the recitation because so much energy is consumed by reflecting on meanings. Yet, the purpose is accomplished. The transformation is taking place. 3rd recitation is the best, where the reflections, the knowledge, the studies, reflections, and meditation, they're pretty good. And you have the experience of bodhicitta, you have the experience of emptiness, and then think of the phenomena, they're like dream, and your compassion grows to everybody. So when that is a quiet experience within you, then as you recite these texts are so precious. When you recite them, the words flow, meanings flow, and the experience flows. Experience flows. So then the real transformation takes place. Transformation, the whole purpose is to transform your mind from the state of unhappiness to the state of happiness, from the state of fear to the state of fearlessness. So this is a purpose. Okay, with that in mind, let's try best to see how much the meanings flow while we recite the words. Okay, the next page. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination. There is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seek pacification and complete peace, who through the knowledge of past causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subduers expound the varieties of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you are my prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om Yedharama Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Yedharama Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Yedharama Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the Gracia. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite. Such is the nectar-like dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I will return to the words. Pure utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unseized, and has the nature of space. Is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom, to you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times obeisance. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena of the nature are emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge to the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negativity of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you don't have the view. Okay, page 14. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, page 14. Same page? Page 14?
Yes.
Good. Okay, as we recite the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, again let us keep in mind that it is not that we are praising Buddha Shakyamuni, that he is very happy, he is praised, so therefore he grants you blessings. This is not the idea. Whether we praise, we don't praise, he is forever loving to you. There is no difference for him. And then why we are praising the Buddha Shakyamuni is, praise means that you praise something good there, that he or she has good qualities. What are the good qualities on the basis of which the Buddha is being praised? What are the good qualities? You try to locate the good qualities there, and then see if these good qualities are within you also, within you. Of course, we can't expect them to they be there within you in full-fledged form, but see if you have some part of these good qualities. If you do have, rejoice, and then see how to nurture them further, because finally we all have the Buddha nature within us, and the good qualities that we have, they will serve as a cause, they will serve as the seeds to eventually germinate in the form of the Buddha's full awakening or the Buddhahood. So see if you have for some of these qualities there. If you have, rejoice and see how to nurture them further. If you don't have those qualities, knowing that these qualities are the basis on which will make you eventually become Buddha. So therefore we should be aware that, okay, these are the qualities that I need to work on to cultivate newly. Once cultivated, to see how to nurture them further. Okay, this is the reason what for we are reading the praise. Okay, together. The founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, no other world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you are born on this earth, you paced our 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, forms supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord to you I prostrate. With a supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dusty like you, the world's the incompatible wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from the low attachment, the virtue that frees one from the low realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly, this is a teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, and clouds see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the 4 faults and be delivered from samsara's ocean, battered by the waves of aging, sickness and death. Okay, next is Heart Sutra, page 29 or 31, page 29?
29.
Good. Okay, page 29, Heart Sutra. Okay, Heart Sutra. By the very title, we come to realize that this is the essence. Okay, somebody recently they asked me, what is Sutra? Okay, Sutra in general is the teachings of the Buddha in the context of Buddhism. In the context of Buddhism, Sutra means the teachings of the Buddha. In the context of the Asian religion, particularly Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, Sutra means, the teachings the teachings of the enlightened beings in general. In the context of Buddhism, sutra means the teachings of the Buddha, number one. Now, in the context of the Tripitak meaning that the three classes of the Buddha's teachings, then the sutra means the sutra as opposed to Vinaya and the Abhidharma. So that sutra is again a different sutra. A sutra is a class of teaching which emphasizes on cultivating and building the meditative concentration. In other words, sutras whose content matters is primarily building the meditative concentration. This is one understanding of sutra. Still another understanding of sutra is sutra as opposed to tantra. So they are, say, in the Buddhist context, we see that sutra has three different connotations. In general, in Buddhism, sutra means teachings of the Buddha. Even tantra can come under the sutras in general. Then, more precisely, sutra as opposed to tantra too. Then, the another way of classification is sutra in the context of the Tripitak. Tripitak meaning the three baskets of the Buddha's teachings, or the three classes of Buddha's teachings. The Vinaya meaning which teaches about the morality, then the sutra which teaches about the meditative concentration, and the Abhidharma which teaches the wisdom. So the sutra has several connotations. So here, sutra, heart sutra is in the context of the teachings of the Buddha in this context. And of all the teachings of Buddha, we see that this very brief teaching, that is the heart, the essence of all the Buddha's teachings. Very short, yet the meaning is also condensed in this. So as we recite this Heart Sutra, to give a very quick picture of the Heart Sutra, in Rajgir. Okay, how many been to Rajgir? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. This Heart Sutra actually was taught or happened in Rajgir. And the Buddha presided over the congregation, and then Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion, was sitting on one side, and Shariputra, the Arhat Shariputra, was sitting on the other side, and then the host of the Bodhisattvas, the monks, nuns, lay devotees, they were all there. And then the Buddha went into Samadhi. Samadhi meaning the meditative concentration, deep meditative concentration on the ultimate reality. Then the unique thing about the Buddha, anybody, it's not that the Buddha Shakyamuni, he's unique, we are different, we are just ordinary. This is not a connotation. The moment anybody becomes a Buddha, you will be equipped with a special power to engage in the two worlds simultaneously, the world of the ultimate reality and the world of the conventionality, the two worlds. You get access to both directly. And the Buddha went into the world of the ultimate reality, and as he went into this, because that he had access to all phenomena simultaneously, he then blessed out of the Shariputra, and inspired him that, okay, stand up and ask question to Avalokiteshvara. Shariputra then stood up, and there's no verbal exchange. The Buddha was just, we the ordinary beings can see that Buddha was just in a deep meditative state. And it was a communication happening between Buddha and Shariputra. We cannot see this communication. Shariputra then stood up. The Buddha, while he was still in the meditative concentration, Shariputra stood up, turned towards Avalokiteshvara. First, they made prostrations, paid respect to the Buddha Shakyamuni, and then turned towards Avalokiteshvara and started to ask questions. Meanwhile, Avalokiteshvara, he was also just absorbed into the ultimate reality, how nothing really exists from the object, they're all just like a dream coming from your mind. And then Shariputra asked this question as, how should the child of a lineage practice the perfection of wisdom? This question asked to Avalokiteshvara. So here, the Heart Sutra, as we recite the Heart Sutra, three things not to miss. If you miss the three things, then the whole purpose of the recitation is defeated. One point is, okay, what is the question asked by Shariputra to Avalokiteshvara? Number one. Number 2, what is the response given by Avalokiteshvara to Shariputra? Number 2. Number 3, what if you practice the way indicated, the way taught by Avalokiteshvara, what benefit will get? 3 points. Okay, 1. What's the first point?
What was the question asked by Shariputra?
What is the question asked by Shariputra to Avalokiteshvara? Question asked is, how should the child of the lineage practice the professional wisdom? So this is exactly what we discussed yesterday. The whole day what we discussed was asked by Shariputra to Avalokiteshvara. How should the child of a lineage? Child of a lineage means in the olden times, the Finland, 1,000 years, 2,000 years ago, Finland also must have a king. No?
We were under the Swedish king. But we were
Yes, it's under king,
yeah,
right?
But not here. No, we on the other side of the sea, far away.
No, it doesn't matter, ruled by the king.
Yeah.
Yes, so this is meaning. Okay, so Finnish people, they're quite strong. In other words, you're not accepting that is your king. Okay, so what I'm saying is that in those days, the whole world was ruled by kings, the emperors, and what? Pharaohs and the Tsar, or what? Finally, it's the kings, with different names. Okay, so why in those days, the prince of the king, young boy, the son of the king comes, is treated as very special. Why? Because he's holding the lineage of the king. His lineage becomes the lineage that he's holding becomes very important. Why? Because eventually he's going to become the king. Therefore, he's a lineage holder. Likewise, how should the child of the lineage practice the professional wisdom? Child of a lineage. Oftentimes, many of the translators translate it as, how should the son of the lineage? As though like there should be no lineage in the daughters. This is totally wrong translation. Totally wrong translation. Because people, they don't have the nuances of the Tibetan. And even the Tibetans, some of the Tibetans, they also translate it like this. They don't know the nuances. Pu, the Tibetan word is pu. Pu does not necessarily mean son. Pu does not necessarily mean boy. Pu is a very affectionate way of calling to one's child. And then, say the early men, we speak of the early men. And within early men, we can speak of early men and early women. So likewise, pu is a common word for the males and the females. And then, within that context, then you can say the pu and pomo. Pu, boys, pomo, females. And the overarching, the label is pu. Early men, overarching label. Within early men, then you see two early men, early women. Exactly like this. So people translate it as just directly, as so literally as the lineage of a son, the son of the lineage. No, it should be the child of the lineage, which incorporates both. For Buddha, there's no difference between boys and girls. There's no difference for Buddha. Buddha is a revolutionary. In those days, there's an incredibly great, let's say, the discrimination against, gender discrimination against the females. The females, they are being suppressed totally. And the Buddha Shakyamuni said that no, this is not right. It's not about human rights. It's about the reality. We are all equal. The girls and boys, there's no difference. Buddha nature, there's no difference. Take your body away, you will find the Buddha nature inside. What is more precious than the Buddha nature? Your body is nothing. Your Buddha nature is very precious. This Buddha nature marks who you are. And there is no difference between the male Buddha nature and the female Buddha nature. So it's totally equal. So therefore the Buddha was the first revolutionary who really fought against the gender discrimination. This is a very strong step, a great step that he take. And he was able to take the step, had it been the case that he was not a prince. Had it been the case he was not a prince, he took this step, his life would be in danger. Because in those days, gender discrimination was so strong. Whereas he took this step, and then of course there were little, say, the problems coming, but then somehow, because he was a prince, nobody could say much against him. So he was a great revolutionary, pretending to revolutionizing the gender discrimination. So there he said that there was no gender discrimination, it's equality. Okay. So with this, the child of lineage, in those days the prince is considered so important because he's going to be he's the lineage holder. He's eventually become the Buddha, the king. Likewise, anybody, whether boys or girls, no difference, anybody can be a child of a lineage. What lineage? Lineage of the Buddha. Lineage of Buddha is more important than the lineage of the kings. So therefore anybody can be the lineage holder of the Buddhas. So therefore it is not the son, it is the child, both male and female included. Okay, with this, once, then who's that child who is the lineage holder of this Buddhahood? The one who makes the commitment, I will become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Anybody who makes this commitment, I will become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, means that he or she can become a Buddha. And somebody who is going to become the king is known as the lineage holder of the king. Somebody who is going to become Buddha is going to be called as the lineage holder of the Buddhas. So therefore anybody who aspires to become Buddha automatically becomes the child of the lineage. So once you make the commitment to become Buddha, what should you practice? How should the child of the lineage practice the perfection of wisdom? So what we said yesterday was that to become Buddha, you have to awaken this Buddha nature by dispelling the darkness of ignorance. How to dispel darkness of ignorance? By igniting the light of the wisdom. So now Heart Sutra, Shariputra asks, how should the child of lineage practice the perfection of wisdom? So now, from what we learned yesterday, what we're reading here makes total sense today. Okay, then Avalokiteshvara gives the response. How should the child of lineage practice the wisdom, perfection of wisdom? He said that we should be able to see everything like a dream. Just as a dream is coming from your mind, all phenomena that exist in the universe, they all come from your mind. How? The first, we see that I am very important, self-centered attitude, self-grasping ignorance. I am so important. Yes, you are very important. You are the one who is going to become Buddha. That's very important. But even this, yes, it is important, but the fact that you see this as so objectified, so solidly from the object, is the one which hampers you from becoming important, which hampers you from becoming enlightened. So he says that this self, which is so important, which is like the center of the whole universe, even this self is like a dream. This self, you see as this objectified self there, in actuality it's just the five aggregates, the body, the mind, and the five aggregates. None of the five aggregates is this self. So the self that you see is just purely your projection of your own mind. Then the Avalokiteshvara went to explain how the Four Noble Truths, which we vaguely mentioned yesterday, the Four Noble Truths are also dreamlike. How the 12 links of dependent origination, the wheel of life, 12 links, they're also dreamlike. Then how the 18 elements, six objects, 6 subjects, and 6 mediums, 6 into 3 is 18. How the 18 elements, they're all like dream. In other words, every phenomena that exists in this universe, how they're all like dream. This is what Avalokiteshvara explained. Point number 2. What is point number 3? Point number 1. What is the question asked by Shariputra to Avalokiteshvara? What is point number 2? What's the answer, the response given by Avalokiteshvara to Shariputra? Point number 3. What's the benefit? What's the benefit if you practice the wisdom of emptiness to see everything like a dream? What's the benefit? The benefit set here, the next page, the second paragraph said the benefit. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, the Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration. All the obscurations, mental obscurations will dissolve. And because of which, without fear, all your fear will dissolve. Okay, this is benefit. Okay, with that in mind, keep in mind the 3 points, we'll recite the Aditi Sutra together. Ready? Thomas, you don't have the book?
Yeah.
Huh?
I bought the book.
Okay, okay.
As usual, yesterday.
Huh?
You can borrow mine.
No need, next time.
Yours what? Very good.
So let us do this.
Thank you, Stina. Okay, we're on page 29. Okay, we'll read this together. I proceed to the irretrievable gem. Thus did I hear one time the Buddha was dwelling on Mars of Vultures mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravadugiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravadugiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravadugiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, sameness, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element and so on, up to and including no mental element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering or origination, cessation and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared: Deyata Om Gade Gade Bara Sam Gade Bodhi Swaham. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravadugiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you've indicated, even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravadugiteshvara, those surrounded in the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised and spoken by the Buddha. Okay, as we recite this mantra, the way we sang yesterday, just visualize that this is a very important mantra. Visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni exhorting us thus: don't remain in the fears of samsara. Come towards ultimate happiness. And you hearing this melodious voice of Buddha Shakyamuni, you inspire your two parents, you inspire your children, you inspire all the family members, you inspire all the sentient beings. Listen, this is what a compassionate teacher Buddha Shakyamuni taught us. Let us not remain in samsara anymore. Let us all go towards ultimate happiness by awakening the seed of Buddha nature within us. And everybody hearing what you are saying, they're so inspired, they join you, so happy to join you in this journey of cleansing the mind to awaken this Buddha nature to the state of fearlessness and a state of infinite happiness. And everybody joins you. With this mind, let's say this 7 times. Deyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Gati Bodhi Swaha Deyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati 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 Bodhi Swaha. By the teachings of the Three Supreme Jewels possessing power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspiciousness and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay, some of you may be wondering, why clapping? Okay, clapping, again it's a convention. Again it's a convention. So what we're going to learn for the next 6 days, the emphasis is going to be how everything's purely convention. And yet the convention marks what the world is. And yet the conventions operate so efficaciously. Okay, for example, let's say that, what is this convention? What is this? Hey, what is this? Peace. With 3 fingers, 3 peace. With 2 fingers is peace, 3 fingers is 3 peace.
This is victory.
Huh?
This is victory.
Victory, victory, yes. With 3 fingers means 2 victories, 2 V's, right?
Yeah.
Thomas, 2 V's, right?
Yeah, 3 V's.
That means,
W.
then it's 4 V's, 4 victories.
That is W.
Yes. Okay, so no, that's not the point. It's about just a convention. Just a convention. You're getting it? What is this?
Yes.
Okay, yes, good. There's 2 goods. No, it's simply just, this is convention. The thumb is nothing good. It is nothing good in it. But it's a convention. You're getting it? So likewise, clapping is a convention. Clapping is a convention. Say, some people clap means good. Some people clap means you're the evil. It's a convention. Convention means the person who first created this, it depends on that person, how that community being. In some the communities or some traditions, you put on the hat, this is disrespectful. In some cases, you put without putting the hat, it's disrespectful. Put on the hat is respect. In some cases, putting the head is disrespect. It's purely convention. You're getting it purely convention. And we forgot that it's convention. We see it as so real that, oh, you don't put in the head, it's so disrespectful. You put in the head, it's so disrespectful. First of all, we created convention. We forgot that is a creation. And then we see it so real. Then when there is no follow, then killings, everything happens. You are so disrespectful. And then this stood against, this is blasphemy, this is agnostic, this is the sacrilegious, then killing, and everything happens. This is ignorance. Failing to see the convention as convention, failing to see the convention as convention, seeing it as so real. This is the ignorance. This is the cause of all the problems, including killing in the name of religions. It's all because of ignorance. The reality is they're just convention. Respect the convention. Convention is not the very definition. Convention means it is not rigid, it is not fixed. Because it's how our mind projects. Okay, so the clapping in the Tibetan community in those days, nowadays is becoming globalization of even the globalization of conventions, globalization of the economy, globalization of the global warming, everything globalized. So therefore, even the conventions of Tibetans, they were also changing according to the global trend. So in the past, in Tibet, clap means is very bad. Clap is a gesture to dispel the evil. Right? Whereas in the West, clap means good. Right? Different conventions. It's fine. There's nothing wrong in it. Okay. But then we turn to page. Page, I don't know which page, 8 verses of mind training, very close by, 2 or 3 pages behind that. 8 verses of mind training. Which page is that?
That is 35.
Page 35. Okay, page 35, 8 verses of mind training. Okay, I'm explaining all these things for us to gain conviction in what we're doing, to realize that what I'm doing is not the nonsensible thing. 8 verses of mind training. 8 verses of mind training. Okay, the Heart Sutra we read, what we learned yesterday was that, not too clearly, but to some extent what we learned was that finally to move to awaken the seed of perfection within yourself, to achieve fearlessness and to achieve infinite happiness, we require 2 wings. 2 wings. The wing of the wisdom to dispel ignorance, and the wing of Bodhicitta, the compassion, to dispel the self-centered attitude. With these 2 wings, then you cross the ocean of samsara towards the ultimate happiness, brotherhood. Okay, so Heart Sutra is meant to build the wing of the wisdom. And 8 verses of mind training, I included this for the reason, as a reminder for us, this is not the only text. This is not the only text, but it's a symbolic. It's to build the wing of the compassion. And Heart Sutra to build the wing of the wisdom. So with these 2 wings, it's a reminder for us that finally I have to build these 2 wings. With these 2 wings, then I'll fly to the shore of enlightenment. Okay, so 8 verses of mind training, you will see that if you read it directly, you may see that this is a very self-denial text. A text which encourages one to be self-denial. I'm so hopeless. Let all the sufferings come on me. I'm already very rich in suffering, and still I invite more suffering. It's totally meaningless. No, idea is not for you to acquire more suffering. The idea is to get rid of your suffering. It's a very skillful way of doing it. How? Say all sufferings, the suffering which we don't like, happiness which we like, both are the resultant states of mind, are the mental state. And that too, within the mental state, we see resultant state and the causal state. So these 2 are the resultant states, happiness and the fear. And these two resultant states, they should come through the causes. Ye dharma hetu prabhava. All these phenomena arise from the causes. So what are the causes? Causes are also mental. What causes? Primarily, there are so many classifications, the versions of causes, but finally what we see is that the suffering, the cause is the self-referential ego. Self-referential ego is the one which attracts all the miseries within you. And what is the cause of the happiness? Self-confidence. Self-confidence is the source of all the happiness. Self-referential ego is the cause of all the miseries, all the tension, all the unhappiness, stress. Okay, ordinary people, we equate these two, self-referential ego and self-confidence, we equate the two, ordinary people. How? When we say that, oh, he's very self-confident, we may be meaning that this person is egoistic. He's very self-confident. Deep inside we may be meaning that there's ego there, very self-confident. We may not like to approach, we may not feel easy to approach the person. And on the other hand we speak that, oh, this person is amazing, he doesn't have any ego. Wow, that's amazing. Then we'll make him the director of the program. No, he has no self-confidence. You getting it? No, ego means no self-confidence. Self-confidence means ego. Generally speaking, when self-confidence comes up, ego also comes up. When you subdue the ego, self-confidence also disappears. When the person, for example, becomes, say, very unsuccessful in all the careers, the person loses one's confidence. When the confidence is not there, ego is also not there, ego is also gone. Right? When the self-confidence comes up, ego also comes up. This is a sign of ordinary being. How to demarcate between ordinary and evolved person? Ordinary being is somebody where the self-confidence goes up, ego also goes up. Ego and self-confidence, these two are friends. Whereas for the evolved beings, these two are not friends. They will first of all see that these two are not same, these two are different. And then what they do is they undermine the ego and they boost the self-confidence. If this is what you can do, you are an evolved person. If this is not what is happening, we are just ordinary person. Ordinary means suffering terribly into just sucked up in suffering and misery, tension. Nobody likes us. Right? Nobody likes us. This is the ordinary sign of ordinariness. Where your knowledge grows, everybody likes you, right? You're being so kind with everybody. Everybody likes you so much. This is a sign of greatness. This is a sign of greatness. This is a sign of strength. Where your knowledge grows, your ego goes up, and then nobody likes you. This is a sign of weakness. Whole purpose of knowledge is to make you happy. Now it makes you more unhappy. This is a sign of weakness. Okay, and yet this is not who you are. This weakness is not your. This is not who you are. You are really. Who you really are is your strength. Your strength. What is that strength? Strength to express compassion. To express compassion is not easy. It requires a tremendous strength. It's easy to say, no, please don't come. That's very easy. To say, come, yes, I'll help you. That's very difficult. So this only the strong people can do. So to dismiss somebody else, what you said is nonsense. There is just nothing. Right? That is very easy to say. That is a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of strength. Some strength is like His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He's a world celebrity. The moment somebody comes, even a beggar comes to him, he will embrace with love. He will listen to you. He will listen to you. Right? He will not dismiss. Okay, I'm the Dalai Lama. What for you come? Right? I have only 1 minute. Finish. Okay, get out. He will never say this. He will only listen to you. He will only listen to you. So he is such a great celebrity, but he embraces you. The people who are very weak, they will dismiss you very easily. So, but the weakness is not, this is not our true nature. Our true nature is to embrace everybody. Our true nature is to be very strong. With a tremendous knowledge, the more you embrace others with love and affection. This is the beauty and the strength of your Buddha nature. So that must be meat to come out. Okay, with that in mind, it was my training. With the determination to achieve the highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of aid, mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From our two collections, vast as space that have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds mesmerized by their ignorance. Okay, the next 7 practice. 7 practice is again very important. Again, we need to know the reason why this is included here, is that we are undertaking a journey, a very important journey, a journey, the noblest, the wisest journey to identify who we are, your strength, insight, the Buddha nature, total fearlessness, and infinite happiness. So this journey, we have never undertaken this journey since time immemorial till now. And this time somehow we are very fortunate that in this era and in the generation, we can see His Holiness the Dalai Lama, living embodiment of compassion. Okay, Buddha, Bodhisattva, this one thing, but a living embodiment of compassion, the living embodiment of wisdom. So he's still alive there. We're so fortunate, and we can see him as a role model. And on that basis, we can also become one like him. We also have the Buddha nature inside to embrace everybody with love and affection, while your knowledge far excels everything else. So this journey, because this is a very important journey. For example, when we go for a journey, so I'm sure if you came from a little far away, like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, some of you from Sweden,
Yes,
some from Russia. When you come, I'm sure you brought a bag. You have a bag with you?
Yes.
Without bag you came? With the bag, some eatables also, some medicines, eatables, clothes, right? Why? Because it is a journey. It's a journey. So a journey requires lots of things. You have to prepare a lot of things. What is that thing? What the bag is required for you to undertake a physical journey? The bag of merit is required to take this spiritual journey. Bag of merit is required to undertake this spiritual journey. So merit accumulation is so important. It's not just knowledge. Even if you learn a lot, if the merit is lacking, then in the actual pursuit of your journey, the practice, suddenly you become sick. So the merit is lacking. So we need to tremendous accumulation of merit in order to support this journey. So for the merit accumulation, all the Buddhas, they unanimously concluded that it's a practice of these 7 practices, 7 in practice, that you can very successfully accumulate the merit within a short span of time. Okay, and these 7 practices, they're very self-explanatory. You read the stanzas here together, and we see that the meanings are well reflected there. Okay, we'll read this together now. I bow down to the youthful Aram Manjushri, you the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past and future, in the world of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect and with as many bodies as atoms of the world. To all you Buddhas, visualize as real I bow down. On every atom of Buddhas, numberless as particles, each amidst a host of bodhisattvas, and I'm confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the bodhisattvas in this way. With the infinite oceans of praise for you and the oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of the Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugathas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, offered to you victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfume, sandalwood, hypnotized Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array, offered to you victorious ones. With transcendental offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done with my body, speech and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger and ignorance, all this I openly lay bare before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who attain the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme will of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated, by making prostration, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I'll now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Okay, mantle offering. Mantle offering is again a very effective manner in which to accumulate merit within a short span of time. Mandala offering. Mandala again has many connotations. Mandala many connotations. One of which is the whole universe. Whole universe seen as a mandala. Then you offer this all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. In other words, the best, everything best that you have, you offer. For example, when you love your mother so much, when a child loves the mother so much, on the mother's birthday, the child might not have anything to offer. Maybe a tiny chocolate, a small chocolate, or a tiny flower. Offer this to mother, but for the mother, this is so precious because this is coming from the heart, from the love of the child. So likewise, we are making the best of the offerings to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Not that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are expecting offering from you, but simply it reflects your love and affection, your reverence, your sense of the receptivity to learn, to acquire the qualities the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas already have. So it's for this reason that we are making an offering to make the connection stronger and for you to accumulate enormous merit, that your journey is going to, the journey of Buddhahood, journey of full awakening becomes very smooth. Okay. This ground adorned with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha filled and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. Okay, I'll say this in Tibetan and then you see if you can join me. O Sajibhe Ge Joje Men Do Tam Re Rab Le She Yen De Gen Ba De Sanje Shen Do Me Ne Be Wa Yin Do Ge Nam Do Shen Lai Je Bara Sho. Okay, after making an offering, then you make requests. 2 sets of requests are there. One request is from the one request that we included from on the great teacher Gambopa, the student of Jesus Milarepa. Gambopa, more like the Kaikyu, one of the progenitors of the Kaikyu tradition, the requests, which is very powerful prayers. And then the next set of four, which I include from my teacher, Venerable Genlamne Rinpoche, the four requests. The first four are more to direct a mind towards Dharma, and that our Dharma practice to become very successful. This is a very focused request made. And the second set embraces, or it encompasses all important facets of the Buddha's teachings as to what practices we are to incorporate. So, the one is a renunciation, number two is the bodhicitta, number three is the wisdom of emptiness, and number four is the non-duality of bliss and emptiness, the four. Okay, so we say this together. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps to existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality, on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination and through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratna Mandela Niratiyami. Okay, ideally speaking, in the tradition of offering the mandalas, we have the mandala set there. Mandala set there, symbolizing the whole universe. We offer them, and after offering them, then when you say Idam Guru Ratna Mandela Niratiyami, when you say this, you are receiving what is already offered to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. You are receiving them in the form of blessings. And what's the real blessing? The real blessing is not that you become richer, you become more powerful. This is not the blessing. The real blessing is where your Buddha nature is awakened. The Buddha nature. And that the place where your Buddha nature resides, is your mind. And where your mind resides, in a sutra system, it is more around the heart, and according to the tantric system, very precisely, there is a precise location at the heart chakra. Heart chakra there, the Buddha nature resides. So this Buddha nature resides there, and then when you say Edam Guru Ratnam and Lagam, you say the hand gesture or the mandala set. In both cases, you dismantle this to receive what you've offered to Buddhas Bodhisattvas in the form of blessings. So when you do that, you dismantle it towards your heart. Edam Guru Ratnam Mandela Niratiyami. So when you dismantle that towards your heart, it is actually receiving them in the form of the blessings to activate the Buddha nature inside you. To activate the Buddha nature inside you at your heart. So the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they have already activated the Buddha nature. Now, what we see as the various aspects of the Buddhas, they are nothing but the manifestation of the Buddha nature. So, whatever you get from them can be seen as the ways and means to activate, to bless, to activate our Buddha nature. Okay. Finally, the next page, the foundation of all good qualities. So, up to this point is preparing ourselves for our practice. Preparing ourselves. Having prepared, now what actually are we going to practice is the foundation of all good qualities. 14 stanzas. So these 14 stanzas, you see that can be seen. Actually, Lama Tsongkhapa, the author of the text, Lama Tsongkhapa, he actually wrote a whole treatise. In English, it's like 3 volumes. In Tibetan, it's a huge one volume. In English, it's broken into three sections, 3 volumes. The Great Treatise on the Stages of the Path to Enlightenment. The 3 volumes. And the foundation of all good qualities. Here, just 14 stanzas. This is the essence, the summary, the synopsis of all 3 volumes. Okay, so this is what we are to meditate, practice in a very complete form. Okay, we'll read this again. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly saying this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so for all mother my created beings, please bless me to see this, train in Supreme Bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing my greater beings. Even if developed Bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With a clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions in wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of karma abiding special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishment through attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges of my life. Then, having realized the importance of the 2 stages, essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stations on the paths, may quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Okay, from tomorrow what we'll do is that if time permits, then the next part, generating the mind of consummate yoga, this is going to be done. So this is the Dharma in action. In action, what we're going to do, actually define it as I said earlier, that the morning practice is for us to learn how to design your daily practice. So what is the daily practice in case if you have about like the between 1 to 2 hours where you can dedicate to practice, then whatever we did thus far you can do it, plus what we're going to do now, generating the mind of consummate yoga, which bears the essence, the crux of the practice, the Dharma and the practice. Dharma means practice form. Okay, whereas if you don't have time, then what we're doing from tomorrow, today up to this point, we lay the ground. And then, so after this ground well established, then what we're going to do from tomorrow, generally the mind of consummate yoga, which consists of 4 parts, is what going to be our main practice. And finally, whether you want to do it or not do is individual. It depends on individual. It's up to you. Whereas if you can do it, this is the wisest thing to do. And whereas if you don't do it, that's also your choice. It's up to the individual. Okay. So the point is that when we speak about Dharma practice, what exactly is Dharma practice? Some people say that, okay, reciting mantra is a Dharma practice. Some people say that chanting is Dharma practice. Some people say that make prostration is Dharma practice. What exactly is Dharma practice? Okay. Dharma practice, the Buddha taught that all the teachings of the Buddha, all the paths the Buddha taught consist of two. One is the liberating paths and the ripening paths, P-A-T-H-S, paths. The liberating path is the wisdom of emptiness, which we come to realize that finally it should be the wisdom of emptiness to cleanse the mind. Finally, this is the path, wisdom of emptiness. Then what about the other paths? There are so many other teachings the Buddha gave, not only emptiness. All others are the means to ripen this wisdom of emptiness, takes us closer towards this emptiness. Okay. Then prostration, chanting, and then all the sadhanas and so forth, there are aids to take us closer towards wisdom emptiness. For that matter, so all what we're going to do from tomorrow, from this section, generally the Mode of Consummate Yoga, this consists of 4 parts. One is the single point of meditation. If time allows, okay, now we may not get time, it's fine. A single point of meditation, this is very important. Which means that some people, they emphasize on shamatha practice, mindfulness practice, they all fall under this category. Single point of meditation. And then we have to know why that is important. It's very important. Meanwhile, some people say that this is the path. You have this, then this is Buddhism. All others are just redundant. This is what many people say. This is also too much. That is important, but that is not the path. That is the aid. That is the aid. And we need to know how it is aid. The next one is renunciation. Without renunciation, the real dharma is totally missing. Next one is bodhicitta. Without bodhicitta, the Mahayana teaching is severed. The whole root of the Mahayana teaching is severed without bodhicitta. Then the wisdom of emptiness. Without the wisdom of emptiness, you cannot wake up from the sleep of ignorance. We cannot wake up from the sleep of samsara. Wisdom of emptiness. And then these are the 4. Then plus, when these 4 are, when you have these 4 intact, then you are ready for the tantra, the union of bliss and emptiness, tantra. So without these 4, tantra makes no sense. Some people directly go to tantra. It's just deceiving oneself, self-deception. You know what tantra is? Tantra is to expedite the path. Expedite, to speed up the path. To speed up the path, you should have the path. To say to make the food faster, to make a fast food, right? You should have the ingredients. Without the ingredients, how are we going to make the fast food? Oh, remove the ingredients. No, we need to have a direct practice, direct tantra. You don't do the food in the first place, no ingredients. And then you want to cook the food so fast. What are you going to cook? So without bodhicitta, wisdom emptiness, single point of meditation, what tantra are we doing? So many people, they said, oh, I'm starting to do tantra, right? This is self-deception. And finally, again, whether you do whatever, it's up to you, right? You say we want to go to samsara, right? It's you. You want to go to Buddhahood, it's you. Finally, the Buddha said, you are the master of yourself. Who else is there to master? The one who is able to subdue one's mind and liberate it. That is a wise approach of the wise people. This is what the Buddha said. Finally, you want to go to prison, you want to go to picnic spot, that's not an individual, right? Nobody can force anybody. So the point is to be wise, to be wisely kind to yourself. Okay, so now we'll do a quick dedication prayer. From tomorrow, all these explanations that I give today, no explanations from tomorrow. When necessary, which I have not given today, will be explained tomorrow. Otherwise, what we did today, more detailed explanations will all be evaded from tomorrow. Okay. Dedication prayer, which page number?
288. 288.
No, shorter one.
Shorter one.
Page 52, I think.
Page 52.
Around page 52? Page 52? Page 52. Yes, dedication prayer. Okay, let us dedicate the merits thus gathered. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds in the prayers of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the three times, and to the holding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May I in all lives through the force of this merit never separate from the four wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, Bodhicitta, perfect in the two stages. From our two collections, vast the space that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom, eyes blinded by ignorance. Okay, so the meditations we will do from tomorrow. Okay, 3 prostrations.